Hey everybody, welcome to Friday's Hope, a place where we share hope with everyone, everywhere, because we believe that there is hope in every circumstance or situation. I'm Sue Barnhart, one of the elders at the Worship Center. Got my t-shirt on today, and I want to ask you a question. Is there a difference between rest and sleeping? Or is there a difference between rest and relaxation? I heard a statistic the other day, something like 87% of the population struggles with anxiety. That's a lot. That's a lot anywhere. So we have to talk about resting, truly resting, not just trying to sleep, not just trying to relax or go out on vacation, finding out what resting truly is. So the first thing I did is I went to some definitions. Webster's is really limited. It talks about freedom from work, standing still, being still, deep sleep, calm, or peace of mind. There's that word sleep again. But obviously we're not getting it. It's not working for us if we have that much anxiety working in our lives. Stop moving, lie down, sleep to regain your strength. And maybe that's a beginning definition, but it certainly isn't the whole thing. So then I went to the psychological definition, because that's what Friday's Hope is about, partly, is the psychological part of it. And they define rest as any intentional act or state that restores, hear this, that restores balance, reduces stress, and returns energy and peace to our mind and our body. Let me say that again. Psychological definition of rest is any intentional act or state that restores balance, reduces stress, returns energy and peace to the mind and the body. And it goes far beyond simply sleeping, acting as a dynamic process of recovery. So rest is a dynamic process of recovery. And here is where I believe true rest starts. Right there, what it said. Not just sleep. While sleep is a physical foundation, rest includes waking moments where you release tension. Let me ask you this. You ever go to sleep through the night, wake up and you feel like you haven't slept a wink? Or you go on vacation promising to rest, and all you do is feel tense the whole time. Maybe you're relaxing on that beach in that beach chair with the drink, but you're still all wound up. You're not resting. You might be relaxing, but you're not resting. So I found this article in the American Psychological Association. 7 types of rest to help you restore your body's energy. Hear that, to restore your body's energy, by Ashley Abramson. Now, I'm not going to cover all 7, but just the ones I believe are the most important. You can go to the site yourself, the American Psychological Association, look up the article 7 types of rest to help you restore your body's energy. But there's some things that I feel are super important in this day and age. Sandra Dalton Smith, who's a doctor and author of Sacred Rest, Recover Your Life, Renew Your Energy, Restore Your Sanity. There are days my sanity is totally gone. Explained the importance of a holistic approach to rest. I like that word, holistically. Physically, mentally, spiritually. She says we've incorrectly combined the concepts of sleep and rest, and in doing so, we've actually dumbed down the rest to the point that it appears ineffective. Like, well, why am I going to try and rest? I'm not getting any rest. The result is, hear this, the culture of high achieving, high producing, chronically tired, burned out individuals. Does that describe any of you out there? The result is high achieving, high producing, chronically tired, burned out individuals. And that does not mean you have to be out there working or doing whatever. You'd be retired and sit home and still end up with all those things. So what do we have to do? What do we have to do? First thing, think about your brain. Your brain is active for long periods, and you might feel mentally drained. You're stressed. You're worried. You're always thinking about things that you have to do. You're always taking stuff in. Your brain gets tired. Mental rest means finding ways here you're to quiet your thoughts and give your brain a chance to refuel. You got to refuel this thing. It doesn't operate on its own the whole time. Mental rest means at work or school, giving your brain a break. It may look like scheduling some breaks from mentally taxing work. And I know a lot of this talks about talks about people who are in school and in work, but those of us who are retired or are not out there in the public as much have just as much struggle with anxiety as y'all do. It might be a little higher for y'all out there working and stuff, but let me tell you, anxiety and stress is no respecter of persons. So give your brain a break. Schedule break times from mentally taxing work. I read an article one time where it said, give yourself 15 minutes to worry about everything that you're worried about, and then stop, which I don't know how you do that, and give yourself time to be quiet, just totally quiet. You've already thought it out. You've already thought it through probably a million times. Now give your brain time to rest. Maybe doing mindless tasks like folding laundry or working on a puzzle. The author encourages journaling for patients or working on a puzzle. I have puzzles on my laptop here that I like doing just 'cause I do. Offloading your thoughts on a notebook externalizes them. You're not carrying them around anymore, giving your mind a chance to slow down. Practicing mindfulness or meditation can also help by redirecting focus on physical sensations rather than your mental to-do lists. So redirecting your focus. Meditation, you know what I say, get those scriptures out, get those Psalms out, start meditating. Just reading them isn't going to get it. Start meditating, read on those scriptures and start meditating on. So, that's for me. I'm going to hang on to that one. There's one that I'm going to use at the end that really, really blessed me when I was doing it. So meditate on it. Number 2, feeling exhausted despite getting enough sleep. You may be neglecting other equally important forms of rest. Well, sleep is important component. A multifaceted approach to rest is key to restoring energy levels and improving your ability to function. Dr. Smith explains that the importance of holistic health. Dr. Smith describes 7 essentials of rest deficiency. Physical rest. Physical rest is just what it sounds like, restoring your body's energy. This may include prioritizing sleep, Many of us stay up late at night. You can't always do that. Taking a nap when you need one, I was terrible at that. I'd say, oh, I'm so tired. But I don't want to take a nap. I don't want to. I take naps. I don't care. Physical rest doesn't always mean being still. Maybe you get a massage. That would be great. To address all the tense muscles after a stressful week, or stretch instead of doing a hard workout. I love one of the moves we do in our workouts at our church. It's a stretching exercise, and it opens up your whole chest and your lungs, and it's a wonderful stretching exercise. So there's a lot of ways you can get physical rest rather than simply increasing the duration of nightly sleep. You can also take active steps to improve your quality of life. There's Laurie Santos, PhD professor of psychology at Yale University, says, for example, you could keep your phone outside your bedroom to avoid bedtime scrolling, which can interfere possibly with your body's ability. Use blackout curtains or turn on white noise to block out the distractions. I know there's a lot of people that sleep with their TVs on. And I'm probably going to be booed for this, but I just don't get how people can sleep with that flashing light and that noise and all that stuff. That's got to be affecting people mentally. I have never liked having a TV in my bedroom. When I go in my bedroom, I want it quiet. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's not, depends on where I live. But I want it quiet. If I have anything on, I put on some praise and worship music or some very quiet piano music, very quiet, very calming. That helps me rest as well as sleep. We talked about our brain. There's the mental rest. I talked about when your brain's active for a long time, it gets drained. And to offload your thoughts. You know, we have like a gazillion thoughts a day. I swear it is. I will, I'm one of them. I will be thinking, okay, I got to go take care of this. And by the time I get from here to there, I've forgotten what I was going to do here, because between those two times I've had like a million different thoughts. I have to watch myself doing that. I am one of those ones. I get in a room and I have no idea why I'm there. Back to the original spot, try and figure it out. Well, sometimes that means I'm too stressed. Sometimes that means I've been doing too much and I really need to step back. Sometimes that means I'm tired, literally, legitimately tired. Pay attention to your mind. Pay attention to how it's running and working. It's an important thing. And for us older ladies, pay attention if you're struggling with some things. Maybe there's some medical things going on in your life and you need to maybe get a checkup from your doctor. Wouldn't hurt. Check it out. But pay attention to your thoughts and your mind. That's important. And it's so important to have peace up in here. So much important to have peace, to get rested. Emotional rest. Have you thought about this? This was interesting to me. Because I was always a high energy, let's do this, let's go, which is fine if I could let go of it later on. That's what the problem was. But emotional labor can also be a depleting experience. Emotional rest, Dr. Strongen says, involves finding practical ways to authentically express your feelings, freeing you of the exhausting pressure of holding it all together. Yeah. Or stuffing it down. That's me, right there. Me, stuffing it down. Yep, I did for years. Figured out that was a stupid idea later on in life. Resting emotionally could look like processing your emotions with a friend or your therapist. Guys, you know I'm big on counseling. Rather than pushing them aside saying no to the emotional intense activities. Look, y'all, we get tired carrying all that around. Worry. Worry. Oh my gosh, worry is one of the biggest emotional stresses there is. Learn how to get rid of that. Learn how to live your life to understand you can handle things even if they do happen. Yes, it might hurt, but you can handle things even if they do happen. Those of us born again believers, give it to God and leave it alone. Come on. I know that sounds easy, but what is it going to what's it going to do you sitting there worrying about it? Has it done anything besides cause you more struggle? No. So, emotional rest is just as important and just as draining if you don't take care of it also. Also, set limits and boundaries with emotionally draining people and roles. Okay? You ever been around somebody and you're going, this is getting hard. Maybe you need to just back away from them a little bit. You can love them with the long-handled spoon. That's one of my sayings. Learned it a long time ago from a Christian radio station. I love a lot of people, but not everybody I can be around all the time. And specifically, lately, once I'm done at the office or I'm done with whatever I got to do out there, I like being in here and not necessarily talking to people anymore. That's a new phase in my life because normally I'd text or I'd talk or whatever. I'm really enjoying the peace and quiet. But that all by itself is not going to give you rest if you're going to keep worrying about things or thinking things over and over or being wrapped up in people on the phone or on any of the sites that are out there. Good gravy. There's a zillion of them, and I'm on several of them, sorry. But it's only to encourage people. I don't necessarily follow very many. I just want to encourage people to let them know there's hope out there. If you got people calling you that are really stressful, maybe don't answer that right away. Prepare yourself or text them or whatever. Handle it so you have emotional and mental rest. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I got to ask my son. Anyway, distance yourself from stressful demands or conversations. You ever had somebody that you pick up the phone and it's like it's immediately, well, this is terrible, that's terrible, the other thing's terrible, and and 5 minutes into the conversation, you are worn out. No. Try and encourage them. Try and love them with a long-handled spoon. Because they need the help, but maybe you're not the one. Maybe you're just not the one. Social rest. Have you ever thought about that? Not only introverts need social rest. Being around people all the time means being on, which can be draining for anyone. All the actors and actresses and singers, they have to have time, and they closet themselves in their own little world so they don't have people coming at you. Social rest means scheduling fewer activities during the week or spending more time alone to recharge. That's me. As with emotional rest, you may even want to set boundaries or time limits with people who are difficult to be around. Now, I'm not telling you to cut them off. I'm not telling you to be rude or nasty. But I'm telling you, if they're draining you and they're taking your peace, maybe you just need to not be around them as much. It's important that we protect our rest, our peace. Alternatively, increasing the right kinds of social connection can be restorative. Church, sorry. Find yourself a good church, you that are not in church. I know you probably left church because of something happened. I get it. Been there, done that. Remember, I moved 25 times in 30 years? There's been a few churches under my belt, too. Find one that works for you. Don't let that one experience mess you up. It's not going to help. It's important to focus on relationships that feel supportive and meaningful. Hear that. Best relationship there is Jesus. But focus on relationships that feel supportive and meaningful. Sensory rest. Now, I was all into this one especially. Kind of thought it was neat because I studied sensory integration when my middle daughter was young, because she was struggling with school and different things like that, and couldn't get it. And the tutors weren't helping. I mean, we did a lot of things. And then my pastor's wife was it my pastor's wife? I'm not sure. But somebody way back then, because she's in her 40s now, talked about what was called then sensory integration. We call it something else now. I don't know what it is, but why stores have quiet times, like from 8 to 9 in the morning. Why some places have all the music low now, or different things like that. So I thought, sensory rest, what an interesting idea. So they went on to say the world can be loud, and constant exposure to technology increases the noise, potentially overwhelming our senses. You know, you walk into any busy store, and after about 5 minutes, you want to go running out, whether you've gotten your things or not. Boy, do I use order services a lot anymore. Some people enjoy that. That's good. That's not me anymore. I used to, but not anymore. And that's another thing. Know yourself, to know that you're going to change as you get older and in different stages of your life. So know that and be okay with it. Don't try and say, oh, well, this worked before, it doesn't now, what's wrong with me? Nothing wrong with you. You're just changing. We're supposed to all continue changing. So they say the world can be loud, and constant exposure to technology only increases the noise, potentially overwhelming your senses. Try to occasionally take breaks from anything you rely on your senses to register, whether background noise in your environment, screens that strain your eyes. Says Dr. Ryan, if you take a tech break, Dr. Santos recommends replacing screen time with restorative activities. That's interesting. So you don't just turn everything off and sit there like a lump. You do things that will restore your sensory input, connecting with somebody that you love talking to, or spending time outdoors. I have a friend I talked to the other day. She has a couple little dogs, and one of the things she loves to do is go out to our park out here and walk her dogs and just be in nature. You know, nature doesn't demand us to do anything other than staying away from things that might bite or sting, but you can just walk normal out there and be yourself, you know. So do those things, take a tech break, and then find something that restores your sensory so you aren't so nervous and upset and everything's making you jump. Spiritual rest. Now this is my bailiwick. Spiritual rest. Nobody knows what bailiwick means. I don't either, but I heard my mother say it all my life. This is right up my alley. If you have a religious practice, and I pray you do, rest may mean stepping back from rigid ways of thinking that can cause stress or pressure in your life. But spiritual rest can also mean taking steps towards what feels nourishing to you, refilling your tank by connecting to a cause that's meaningful to you, and simply by taking time to enjoy worship, enjoy messages, enjoy the people in your church, enjoy nature. Every time, psychology includes the spiritual aspect as well. Don't skip that. That is the most important aspect, and that's going to cover you and cover all these other things that need to be utilized to have peace and to have rest. And here's where I go to the biblical definitions of peace and the scriptures that go with us. Psalm 116:7, return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord has dealt bountifully with me. And there it means quietness. Rest means quietness. Yes, I did a lot of research today. Psalm 37:7, rest in the Lord. Wait patiently for him. In other words, stop worrying. Fret not thyself because of him who prospers in his way. I used to be so frustrated at people that would hurt other people and then supposedly get away with it, or people who were making all sorts of money and would get away with it. I've seen them later on in life. They didn't get away with nothing. Their life is miserable. So now I get to pray for them. Okay, so segue, sorry. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for them. Fret not thyself because of him who prospers in his way, because of man who bringeth wicked device to pass. You know what rest means in there? Oh, you're going to love this one. Be silent. Ouch. Be silent. Doesn't matter if they got away with it. You're not their judge anyway, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you're sitting there stressing about it, the only person you're hurting is yourself. Yourself. Be silent. Let the Lord handle them. He always has, and he always will. Psalm 16:9. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth in my flesh. I'm sorry, talk about staying away from digital things. I want to make sure it's not one of my kids that's struggling with something. Nope. Okay, we're all good. Sorry. So, Psalm 37:7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Be silent. Psalm 16:9. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoice. My flesh also shall rest in hope. We can rest in God because he's already got it taken care of. I don't care what it looks like. He's already taken care of it. My worrying, my tension, my stress, my upset isn't going to do a thing. God, however, can take care of it all. You know what the word rest means in that? Security and safety. Feeling secure and feeling safe. Because God's got this. And you're going to get through. You're going to be able to take care of things like that. Whatever that is. And or the person that you're concerned or worried about, they're going to make it through too because you're praying for them. You're asking God to move in a great way. Psalm 91:1. This is the New Living Translation. Those who live in the shelter of the Most High, that means you're wrapped right up in God. These are for all of us who are kind of deep believers. You will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. You don't even need to be wrapped up in him personally. You just need to be around him that close that you're going to be under his shadow, that you're going to be close to him, so close to him that you can rest because of his strength, because of his ability. Not because of what I can do, but because of his ability and then his guidance to give me the plan on what to do. It's a resting place. It's a place you can rest. You can go back there anytime. Open 24/7, 365. Wrap yourself around Jesus. I'm telling you, it is the best thing of everything I've done in 72 years. Wrapping myself around Jesus has been the best of everything. I've lived wealthy. I've lived in the best places. I've had a lot of money. There are a ton of things that people would love to have that I had. The one thing that has stayed constant and the one thing that has always been there for me, the one person that's always been there for me is Jesus. every single time. Psalm 116:7. Let my soul be at rest again, for the Lord has been good to me. Again, that's simply resting in Him, continuing to rest in Him. It is difficult in this age and in this day to be at rest. I get it. I get it. But I heard a statistic, I told you earlier, that 87% of us are anxious. But we can rest totally and completely, body, mind, emotions, and spirit, through Jesus. I speak from experience, living anxious and fearful for most of my life until I realized it was happening, and it's just the way I learned to live. But when I realized I didn't have to live that way, God's given me the strength to handle life, especially through Jesus, and knowing that He's going to handle life. And most of the time, everything works out okay, or we can be healed from the catastrophe. We can go through the catastrophe or the difficult event with His strength. Many of us have had to deal with catastrophic incidences. I'm one of them. You all know my medical history alone. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you so strongly. Work on true resting. If one of the things I get across through this for you to work on is work on resting. Find out what true resting is for you. The other thing that is so, so important, if you hear nothing else in this whole broadcast, hear and remember this. Wrap yourself up in Jesus all day, every day. Go to work and wrap yourself up in Jesus. Go to the grocery store, wrap yourself up in Jesus. Go see a friend, wrap yourself up in Jesus. It's so important. Let Him get deep into your body, mind, and spirit and help you get through life. Have a relationship with Him. Continue. You don't have to do this alone, guys. You don't have to do life alone. I say that time and time again. Every broadcast, I say that. Jesus is right there for you, for all of you. And all you have to do is reach out and keep reaching out. It's not a one-time thing. Look, Jesus helped. He helped me, so now I can go do it. No, it's a relationship as well. Two-sided, by the way, reciprocal. I do what He wants me to do because I love Him, because He's poured His love out on me, and He helps me through my things. If you're in a relationship down here and you reached out to your partner just once and then never again, what kind of relationship is that? Same thing with Jesus. You continue to reach out to Him every day, all day. First of all, ask Him to be your Savior and Lord. I encourage you, I challenge you, let's make the statistic of living with anxiety even lower, because it is possible. It is possible. All the things that that doctor wrote, they are all possible in Jesus. They really are. I'm living proof. I can't even tell you how God has, especially this year, really taken me places. I have so much peace right now, it's almost embarrassing. What can I say? God's healed me from a lot of stuff, and He can do that for you too. Look, if you feel like you want to hurt yourself or others, please reach out. Reach out to your pastor, your counselor, the doctor, the hospital, somebody. Contact the 988 Lifeline. You can call or text them. There is nothing in this world that can be so dramatic and drastic that you have to take your own life. I know it feels like that. I've been there. I know it feels like that. Reach out before you get that far. Reach out before you hurt somebody or you hurt yourself. Reach out. Life is painful, absolutely, but we can get through it with Jesus and with others. You're not alone. I just said it, 3 minutes ago? You're not alone. There's people there. I was talking to my fitness instructor. I go to the senior center. Yes, I go to the senior center twice a week to ride their recumbent bikes. Knees don't do it really well anymore, so and I don't like riding the bike out there anymore because I'm afraid I'll fall and go down boom. And so they have a program free. Anyway, I was talking to my the guy that kind of watches over us while we ride the bikes or the elliptical. We had an amazing conversation because he's a yoga instructor, and with the yoga there's a lot of the same similarities as what I say, what I talk about. But here's the difference, and I had a chance to share that with him. I said the difference is we have the hope in Jesus that he's going to help us. Our hope isn't in just doing all this stuff on our own. Our hope is the fact that we can call on Jesus to do all these things and then heal us from anxiety, depression. Yes, I know there's some psychological and physical things. You might have to take medication. Okay, but do those things that are going to make you a healthy, whole, healed individual. So anyway, I was sharing with him about Jesus in this room that has the recumbent bikes. By the time I got down, he said, "Amen," real loud. And I thought all the seniors that were on the other side of the room playing bingo, they're all going, "What's going on in that little room over there?" But the theology is the same, but the hope is missing. That hope is in Jesus. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And the people were already in captivity when God gave them that. They were already there and in a mess. But he had a plan. And he has a plan for your life too. I just laid it out. You're welcome to message me on Facebook if you like. And then again, I will have this video posted on Friday's Hope Facebook page. I need y'all to hit that like button. I need to get up to 100 video followers. I've got 88. I'm so close. But I need 100 in order to broadcast live on there. So if you would, please, if you haven't already. But this message this time will be on Friday's Hope Facebook page as well as Friday's Hope YouTube channel. I love you. I'm praying for you. I appreciate you so much for listening. I'm going to be on again next Friday at 5. God bless you. And I'm praying for you. You have a great weekend. God bless you.